Good morning and thanks to you, Leanne. I'm joined now by the leader of the South African delegation here at the Pan-African Parliament. She's also a member of Parliament here in South Africa. She's the chief whip of the ANC and the National Council of Provinces, Dr. Hunadi Mateme. Dr. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning to you, Ayanda, and good morning to the listeners on the continent.
Of course, they are on the continent this time around, as SABC, as of last week, is broadcasting to 50 of the 54 African continents. So it is quite an achievement you and I spoke about. But let's discuss unity among these countries on the continent we speak about. Not only unity between countries, but unities within the different countries. You are leading up a delegation that's made up of a number of political parties, the economic freedom fighters among them, and you've managed to have quite a united front and engage in discourse and rigorous debate, but from a perspective of unity. Speak to us about that dynamic.
For us, our mandate from the Republic of South Africa, when they packaged us the way they did, we put country, continent, and our people first. Because political parties come and go, but the continent, the country, and our people will always be there. Our focus is service to country, to the continent, and to the people of South Africa, first and foremost, the people of the continent in general.
Let's discuss now some of the popular discourse that's happening this Africa Day on the sidelines of the Pan-African Parliament. There's been talk of dropping the stem from the national anthem. What is your view on that?
My view would be, my very well considered view, if we do that, we would imply that our forefathers who conceived the idea in the first place, in the interest of unity and reconciliation, then we would say maybe they were not quite in their right mind. And I do not think that would be a wise thing to do. It was a well thought through idea to unite the people of South Africa. If we do away with that portion, we're going backwards. Because then we're going to find ourselves in a situation perhaps of them and us. The history that we wouldn't want to go back to. We prefer to go forward as a solid, united, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous country. That is our wish, that is our vision. Now, excluding the stem, I'm not sure is going to help us reach that ideal situation. Like I'm saying, it will be a great disrespect, in my view, to those who brought the idea together.
Let's now speak about the importance of the continent and intra-Africa trade and our relations with each other. The fact that majority of the African countries do not observe Africa Day as a public holiday, are we to read anything into that? Is this whole talk of unity, etc., is it just mere talk and nothing else? We don't have it as an official public holiday. Why is that?
In my view, for starters, I don't think you need a public holiday to celebrate any event of significance. Maybe down the line. Public holidays do have their impact on the economy, because on a public holidays we all stay home, we do not work. My view would be, for starters, let us not make it a public holiday, because the economy of our continent in general is not up to the level we would want it to be, but that doesn't mean we cannot celebrate. We celebrated adequately yesterday in Mamelodi, and we can continue to do it that way. I'm really not convinced that when it isn't a holiday, it cannot be adequately celebrated. I believe human beings are very creative. they will always find a way of celebrating Africa Day. But then maybe years to come, when the economies of the countries on the continent will be up to the level required, then maybe and only then it can become a public holiday.
Let's speak more about those festivities that you alluded to. Great strides have been made on the African continent as far as women are concerned. In fact, the Africa Day celebrations here will be run under the theme 2015, the Year of Women's Empowerment and Development towards Africa's Agenda 2063. But at the same time, while a lot has been done, there's still much that is still needed to be done. When it comes to women on the continent, there's a lot to be desired. Internally displaced people, women and children are at the forefront. When it comes to conflicts and political instability, women are the ones that bear the brunt. They're either raped, they're either kidnapped. You can name it. The list is endless. So basically, my question to you is, what more do you think we still need to do in order to make sure that women enjoy the fruits of the liberation on the African continent?
There is an expression that goes, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Tiny steps have been taken, but for starters, if you come into this parliament here and consider how delegations from the various countries have been packaged, you get a story of the progress or the lack thereof with regard to women. Some delegations have got only one, others, some may not even have, so on and so forth. Ours has got 3 women, non-racial, non-sexist. So a beginning has been made, but there is a long, long way to go. The issue of gender equality. First and foremost, we are not sure the extent to which this concept is included in the constitutions of the various countries. But we want to believe that coming together at the Pan-Africanist Parliament, there is a cross-pollination of ideas. We're learning from one another. When the delegations come in, they are called country by country. And those countries that are not so gender sensitive, I would like to believe that they ask themselves a couple of questions. So going back home, I think they'll go make some improvements. Yes, women, children are always on the receiving end of some of the ills on our continent, but it's encouraging to realize that the robust debates that unfold in this parliament, and I wish and I hope, Ayanda, that through this new channel, the continent will begin to benefit. There's robust debates here.
But perhaps a debate that I'm not sure, perhaps it has happened in my absence, is on the issue of LGBTI community, the lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender, and intersex. We do know that in Ireland they've just approved the marriage between same-sex individuals. We are running out of time. We have about 30, 40 seconds left, but there is a lot that still needs to be done on the continent regarding their welfare. What is being done, and are we having such discussions?
It started. I came to PAP last October. It started, but I realized that our understanding of how the human body functions is different. We don't have a common understanding as to what happens at puberty. This emotional or hormonal, the hormonal eruption that goes on into the bodies of young people that ends up directing them the way they do. So it's a physiological matter. But our knowledge of this physiology, our appreciation thereof, coupled with belief system, that is one debate that must still unfold on the continent.
Touching on belief system, I know I said we would wrap, but I can't let you go without discussing this one. When people are radicalized and they fight for their belief system, like we're seeing across the continent, and at the moment it doesn't seem like there's any end in sight, What do we need to do to make sure that Africa Day 2016, we're still not sitting with the same problems that we see in Burundi. We're not sitting with the same problems that we see in your Somalia, in your Nigeria, you name them. What do we need to do as a continent, Pan-African, to solve these problems so that next year we're not sitting down having the same conversation of turmoil and conflict?
First and foremost, I think a beginning has been made already in the sense that looks like constitutions, including that of Burundi, as I hear the debates in this House, terms of office for presidents have been limited according to the constitutions. You can't just be a president forever and forever. First point. Second point, that the culture of human rights should be entrenched across the continent. Once that is achieved, the question of what your belief system is, what my belief system is, I do not think will be that much of a break deal that some people must even be killed because of the belief system they have.
Yeah.
So human rights holds the key.
Human rights hold the key. Thank you so much, Doc, for your time. I hope you've enjoyed that conversation. The doctor there leading the South African delegation, also the ANC Chief Whipper in the National Council of Provinces. Let's leave it there, at least for now. More in just a moment. Leanne, it's back to you in studio.